Yeah, the guy asked me, did they wear a mask? And I was like, I think they cut the mask in Texas, but certain companies, because they're corporate and everything, they still have to. We have to honor the mask. We have to honor the fact that there is a pandemic. We have to address it. But I think in Texas, it's okay. It's kind of Scouts honor. They want you to get that shot and everything. But it's Scouts honor. So about Food for Friends is that you sometimes will be interrupted by another Food for Friends order. That means you get one after you just picked up one. You want to immediately check the time of the pickup. That's important. A lot of people don't do that, but you can actually get in trouble if you don't. So I'm actually making a little U-turn, or really it's kind of like an L turn. Maybe I'll make it an L cut later, show it in editing. If you know what an L cut is, if you're an editor. There's also a J cut and there's an L cut. But this is kind of not really a U-turn, it's more of like a square thing. But Tom Noble, who edited Witness, would know exactly what I'm talking about because he's one of the best editors ever. Because he edited a movie called Witness with Harrison Ford. And I actually took acting class in his house. I hung out with his girlfriend, Diane Salinger Simone, in Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure. Hi, Diane. And she actually helped me. Diane is very funny. Everyone in Hollywood loves Diane. I've talked to other agents and stuff like that. They all know her. She's way more famous than what people think. She's super famous. But she, for some reason, keeps it on the lowdown. But she's the most unique lady. One of the most unique ladies I've ever. She's worked with Tim Burton. She's worked with. I might show a little photo of her. She's worked with. Clint Eastwood. Now listen, if you work with Clint Eastwood, you'll never doubt it. I can't wait to see her in a big production of something. Also, I know this too about Diane, is she actually worked with Woody Allen, to be honest. And she studied with the great Stella Adler in New York. She has this great story about sitting on benches in New York and feeding the river rats. I think she would make a great witch. But she did play, not that there's anything wrong with that, but she was a witch in a few video game series. So if you ever played PlayStation or any of those video games, her voice is on many of those video games. But she was also in Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse. So she was one of the characters that would show up, I believe, as Simone in Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse. I'll have to go back and check for sure on that. But she's got a pretty good Internet Movie Database. I'll probably show her a little scan of Diane Salinger, the great actress out in Hollywood. Another thing about Diane Salinger, she was in Ghost World with Steve Buscemi. It's a really good, funny, kind of fun movie. It's very fun. She was in that it's a Ghost World. There's also a beautiful actress that's in it too. But she was in Ghost World, and she's in the very end of that, if you ever watch it. She's a great character. She's a great character. Great coach. If you want a good acting coach, go to Diane Salinger. She's one of the best. She'll pull it out of you. She will pull it out of you, and she will get you where you need to be. She's the sole reason why I got into the actor studio, even though she told me not to go. But I still got in anyway, so. So Kevin Bacon is actually being interviewed sitting on a hill with Award Chatter. And basically, I know for sure I've seen a photo of him in a play called Album. If you ever get a hold of a play called Album, Kevin Bacon did it on Broadway. So Kevin Bacon's story is actually pretty amazing. He went in it to actually be rich and famous. That's why he became an actor. But he spent a lot of time with actors that were basically just kind of working actors. And he became rich and famous, but he put it on back burner for a while. Meaning he wanted to work with real hardworking actors that are out there that are good at their craft. And then, he eventually became rich and famous, eventually. But he worked at it for quite a bit of time. And that's what this interview is about. Just in the same footprints as Marlon Brando, Kevin Bacon did go to New York. And his sister actually was already there. So that's very similar to Marlon Brando. Marlon Brando did go to New York, and his sister was already there, in a way helping him. The siblings helped each other. My sister, she's a hell bomb. One time she called me, she said, "You will never, ever be an actor or musician," because she found out I was playing guitar. Now, this is my own sister saying this, who's a nurse. You know, you will never, you don't ever tell your sibling, you never tell your brother or your sister that they're never going to do anything. You never do that. It's very cruel. My half-brother did kind of hint that he wanted me, to go forward with it. That was my half-brother Clint. And at my second wedding, which he was best man at my second wedding, he said, Bill Murray doesn't have an agent. He just does everything through email. That was probably one of the greatest things he ever said to me. Because in a way, we don't always say what we mean. And in him saying that, he was saying, go for it, And that's a great thing, even if he's a half-brother. His mom and I didn't always get along, but he's a pretty good kid. He knows computers well. So that is at least a half-brother kind of saying, And that, Kevin Bacon also saying that he went there to New York and his sister was already there, It's like his sister was saying, go for it. Do the best you can. And it's great to have people tell you to follow your dream. It's a great thing. Dreams are what makes our country great. No matter who we are, whatever situation we're in, if you have a dream, you have to go for it. You have to fulfill that dream. I didn't know this about Kevin Bacon, but when he did Animal House, he went back to waiting tables. So it didn't set everything, it wasn't like good to go. He had to go back to work. He had to continue working. It wasn't until later that he became mega famous. So as I'm struggling through this, I've been an actor for a very long time, nearly 30 years, and I'm still at it. That entire time, I was never assaulted. Not even on stage or, behind the theater or on the sidewalk or, I was never assaulted until recently. And I think there are people out there that understand assault and they understand how to hurt people, physically. It's not that bad, but it makes me think, what a person has to do to recover from being assaulted, being punched very, very hard in the chin. And I did write a book about it, and I'm working on the second book now. But it kind of, in a way, made me kind of full on about what I want to do, what I want to achieve, and what I have to go through. I'm not saying it helped me, but what doesn't kill you actually helps you. Because all he was able to do is to get one punch in before he ran off into the night like a coward and will cower for the rest of his life, right? The guy that ran from me was a coward, and he will run for the rest of his life. He's a coward. He did not face the news, and he'll have to pay a price for that. But recovering from it will take time because it's a very serious thing to assault. I know a friend that was assaulted. Linda was actually assaulted at Hunter Hill's apartment by a crazy guy. Of not too long ago, within the year, and I had to take her to the ER. It was her crazy ex-roommate that assaulted her. But I hope she's okay. Please pray. What was nice is I actually went into Buc-ee's and they have water. It's under the blue label. It's hard to find. So it's nothing but soft drinks and all the fountain drinks. And one part of the fountain drink has a little blue label, which is actually water. So I went ahead and stocked up just in case. I noticed this sign right here says, "My USA supports our troops wherever we go. No aid or comfort to the enemy, no way," which I thought was interesting. And then it's a Maine's plate. So it's from the state of Maine. But what's interesting about it is that it says that, you know, he supports the troops wherever we go, but no aid or comfort to the enemy, no way. But you're really supposed to love thy enemy. And this is what the country represents. We're supposed to love our enemy. Love thy enemy. Just want to throw this out there. Linda was actually assaulted by an ex-roommate in building 17 at Hunter Hill's apartment. His first name starts with a D. And it happened this year, within this year. And I had to take her to the ER in Southlake to get staples. They put staples in the back of her head. And it was a horrible assault. He hit her with this metal tray. She threw away the assault weapon that he hit her with in the trash can when she asked me to come pick her up, and I picked her up, and I begged her. I said, "Please let me take you to the ER." When women are trapped in addiction, and they're trapped in alcoholism, and they're trapped in an abusive relationship, it can be a very serious thing, and you need to get out of that abusive relationship if they're assaulting you physically, especially. A lot of women will go back to that, but unfortunately a lot of times they don't really last doing that. She's in Hunter Hill's apartment. It's right next to a Kroger in the Dallas area, right off Frankfurt. Hunter Hill's apartment is, if you go where Frankfurt is, where there's a Kroger, Marsh isn't too far from that. But if the Frankfurt and the Kroger, then right next door is Hunter Hills. She's right there in building 17, and she is in danger. And I pray for her. I hope you'd pray for her too. The man that's abusing her had a Coca-Cola tray where you put Coca-Cola on. He hit her with that and assaulted her in the back of the head. And she won't go to the police or anything. I called the police and filed a report with 2 different police departments. I went to Internal Affairs. I even went to the FBI. They said the person that gets assaulted has to file the complaint. His first name starts with a D. He lives in Hunter Hill's apartment in building 17, right on Frankfurt, right next to Kroger. And she's in danger, so please pray for her. Hey ducks, or geese, do you have any idea where Trophy Club is? Anybody? See, the thing is his parents. Thanks.